Le'Veon Bell on the Still Here podcast admitting what I think we all knew. I don't know. Didn't we know? Guys smoke marijuana before games. I mean, it's been that way for years. We're just at the point where essentially the NFL has decriminalized it. They've made it so hard to get suspended. Yeah, you can still get fined. You know when you're going to be tested. You're tested during the early days of training camp. After that, it's smoke them if you got them. Guys are smoking all the time. Guys are living in states where it's legal. The stigma is gone. The suspense is over.
Yeah.
The mystery is solved. Guys like to smoke.
Yeah, no, guys do like to smoke. You're right. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of athletes like to smoke. It's better for you than taking prescription drugs or, drinking alcohol, which dehydrates your muscles and hurts joints and things like that. So that's where athletes, want to rely on smoking rather than the alternatives there. Now, listen, not every guy in the locker room smoking, right? That's not exactly the truth, but there's certainly a good faction. And with a guy like Le'Veon Bell, that's rare. That's where it's like, hey, I was on some teams, and there'd be a few guys that would smoke weed before a game. No doubt about it. On the car ride to the game, they were going to smoke some weed, or if it was an away game, they were going to smoke some weed in their hotel room before they got in the bus and then go to the game, right? And the ones that I knew that did that, damn, they were better when they were like that. And I think Le'Veon Bell was probably like that as well. Listen, I had some teammates, and I've told this story before, and I know I'm allowed to tell it because this is my man, and I've told him. But Dwight Smith, right? 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl, returned them both to the house for a touchdown, right? The only guy ever to have 2 interception pick sixes. He was a guy that I've told this on my podcast before. He'd smoke weed before the games. Dwight Smith was one of the smartest, most passionate guys I was ever around in football. So it worked for some guys. For me, yeah, no way that I could do that, right? Most of us, no way we could do that. But for some guys like Marshawn Lynch, right? He takes a shot of alcohol or two, of tequila or Hennessy. I think he told Peyton Manning on Peyton's Places before the game to relax. Some guys do some of that stuff. And there was probably always 2 or 3 guys that had a drink maybe before the game or smoked weed before the game. And Le'Veon Bell, that's cool of him to be honest about it and just kind of give us an inside look of what made him.
Yeah, the only issue is he got arrested,
I
think, with LeGarrette Blount. They were in a car together,
right.
Hotbox.
Right.
Is that what Hotbox is?
Yes,
in
it
the
is.
car?
Yeah. It hits hard.
It's amazing
there,
how the world is. It's amazing how the world has changed.
Right.
Where there is no stigma. Nobody seems to care. And Le'Veon Bell, and this is, I feel bad for players who they get to the end of their NFL career and they realize, I still got a lot of years to live. Where do I fit in this world? What am I going to do? And I feel like he's going through that. He's done some boxing. I think he said on the same podcast he'd like to come back and take a couple of snaps in the preseason with the Steelers, like that's ever going to happen. He seems to have some regret about how things went with the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a sign of maturity,
yeah.
But also acknowledgement that for most NFL players, and that's why Chuck Noll, the legendary Steelers coach, always referred to everything you do after your career as your life's work, because playing football is not your life's work, because it is not something that is going to be a significant part of your life unless you're Tom Brady and you play for 23 years.
Yeah, that's right. And you got to capitalize while you're there. It's a short career. You get all that, but you also got to understand the value of the situation you're in. And I think that's probably where Le'Veon Bell can look back at his Steelers situation and go, wait, damn, I wish I, could have handled that differently, because they knew how to use me, and I knew exactly how to fit in that offense, and that brought out the best in him, and it was the best for the Steelers there. And I think he probably would have made more money and had a longer career if he would have just hung in there and stayed with the Steelers rather than, taking the route that he did.
Let's take a break. I sometimes pay attention to other sports that may offer some interesting stories that could apply to the NFL, and there's one out of the NBA that may have some relevance at some point to the National Football League. We'll discuss it next here on PFT Live. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.